All right, Larry, could you tell us your full name?
William L. Pittman.
Were you born in Aragon?
Yes, I was born in the second house from the church on Elm Street beside Frank and Lizzie Holland, and born at home. Third of 8 children of Tom and Gladys Pittman.
Well, that answered my next question. So I'm going to ask you who your parents were, but you've already told us that. Could you tell us some of your best childhood memories?
Some of our best memories, of course, is that we, as long as we were back for the next meal, we were kind of turned loose as boys. The girls had a little tighter schedule, but we could roam all over the place. We go down in and play cowboys and whatever at that age, young age, and had some great friends. I remember a lot of friends that I had, Jerry and Jackie Baker, especially the Bakers, Mr. and Miss Dave Baker and Jenny B. A lot of kids come to their house and played. I had E.J. and Gary Moss, and Polk was one of my earliest friends. Tommy Rogers. We lived down on that end of Elm Street, and my brother passed away when I was 9 years old, and Daddy moved us out in the country behind the mill. Had a well and chickens and hogs and stuff like that, and we kind of enjoyed it. Mama didn't want to live in the village anymore, and we really enjoyed that. Lived over there for about 3 or 4 years, and then we moved back to Aragon.
Now, was that within easy walking distance of the village?
Yeah, I went to Aragon school. I went home for dinner. They rung the bell. I ran out the school door and down Elm Street and down beside the mill, and went on behind the mill, across the footbridge, and went to eat, and went all the way back.
So you attended school in Aragon?
All 8 grades.
How do you think your classmates would remember you?
Kind of a joke, started pulling jokes on people, and had a lot of fun in school. Got into trouble, got patted from teachers and stuff, but I enjoyed it. I had very good, learned a lot at Aragon School, and had a lot of good teachers and a lot of good friends.
What did you do for fun while you were going to school?
Oh, we'd go in the summertime, we'd go to the creek, swim in ice hole, or we'd go to oil mine, swim. This is after we got older, at least 8 or 10 years old, maybe 12. We'd go swimming. We'd go down to the store when they changed the shift at mealtime and watch the pocket bootleggers come out. They carried a pint in each overall pocket, and when they'd go up and ask somebody they want some whiskey. And it's the same people we sold whiskey. That's how we got our money. We sold whiskey bottles to the bootleggers. Got spending money. We didn't have no money. But other thing we done, we'd go in the swamp down on the Rome Highway, behind the mill and different places. We'd go swimming and fishing, and used to go to Bob Gatherway's after I got about 12, 14 years old. We'd go outskirts of Aragon, and we used to go to Bob and Bill Gatherway and Larry and Dickie Gatherway's house. We'd go hunting at night, possum hunting a lot and coon hunting. We'd walk through the mountains. We spend the night over there in Wet Holler, and just had a real good time. Enjoyed my childhood immensely in Aragon. It's a very good place to raise children. There are a lot of kids. Wasn't a lot of violence. You would get in fights in school, but they would tell you, I believe I can whip you, I'll see you at recess. And that's about the way it was handled.
You got any other stories you'd like to tell? You can talk about anything you want to.
Well, I would not particularly like to go into any. We used to go when we was walking through the woods, we'd run up on some whiskey stills and they'd tell us to move on, boys. We probably knew who they were. And they'd tell us, move on, don't come back by here. Most people knew everybody, and we didn't tell on those people. We knew them. We knew who they were. I had especially good friend of mine, Hugh Brooks and Wayne and Chuck Brooks, Forrest. We'd play down in where we used to be the old coal yard down off of Aragon Road by the railroad, and we'd play ball and go do different things. Get into trouble, don't stay too late, and didn't come home on time for a meal. All kinds of things. They're very enjoyable. I enjoyed all my childhood. My brother, my dad used to play ball, and people would pay him money to come pitch a ball game, and he went to Cop Hill. We went with him, and we camped out on my cousin's land on Blue Ridge Lake, and they slipped a gun in, and my brother shot me in the leg when I was 9 years old with a gun. I still carried a slug from it. It scared my brothers, and J.L. Mitchell and Tommy Rogers was with us, and it scared all of them to death. They carried me, a bootlegger carried me to the Copper Basin Hospital, and they told Daddy to go and scrape the bone to get it, and he said, no, we got good doctors in Polk County. So he brought me back to the 37 Chevrolet, and we went all the way to Cedartown. Didn't have a hospital at Rockmart at that time, and he filled me full of penicillin and hadn't had any trouble out of it.
How many years did you teach school?
About 29, 30.
You teach in Rockmart all the time?
Well, no, I was teaching, assistant principal and a teacher, and I taught about 20-something years at Rockmart and about 7 at Eastside. I enjoyed it immensely. Better than anything I ever done. I got my degree when I was 31 years old, so I was quite old when I started teaching. But I enjoyed the students more than anybody. They teach you probably more than I ever taught them. They were very bright kids. Most of the only defect they had was they were just young and still learning, and they'd get into problems. But the biggest trouble of most of us was poor. They had a difficult time, their families did. But they were real good students. I'd say 98 to 99% of kids were great. Now they were rambunctious sometimes, and they did miscellaneous things and got in trouble and fought. But by and large, most of the kids was real good at Rockmart High School, and at Eastside also.
And you took a foray into politics at one time too.
Yeah, I became Aragon's first mayor in 1971 and stayed till 1983. Then I got into county politics. I ran for county commissioner in the 70s and mid-70s, about 76, I think, somewhere. And at one time I was assistant principal at Rockmart and mayor of Aragon and county commissioner. And I enjoyed it, but it's kind of overloaded myself.
Do you think the county politics and the local politics have changed a lot, or are they still pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same. People want to see you and they want to talk to you, and you ought to go house to house. That's the way I politic. But they like to see who you are, and they like to ask you questions and see what you stand for. Most people are just hard-working people trying to raise their family. And they're good people, all of them are. Some of them got different points of view, but most of them just kind of want to know what you stand for and what you'll do and what you won't do. You try to do a good job. You're not ever going to make everybody happy. You're going to make some people mad, and I did. I did what I thought was right, and I did the best I knew how, and still made people mad. But that's just the way politics are. You ought to have some values that you value, things that you just think is right, and you ought to stick to it. No matter what the circumstances. Truth about things, and doing the right things, and not cheating the little man to give the big man an advantage. You ought to do things that is the same. Treat everybody the same is what I'm saying. I didn't last long in county politics. I served one term. I went back to teaching school. But I did all that at the same time. But I enjoyed it immensely. And they did me a favor. They turned me out after one term.
Well, tell them about this group that we're recording these videos for, the Aragon Historical Society. Can you give us a plug? You're the president right now.
The Historical Society was formed by several of us, and I want to give Al Miller a shout out. Al Miller was one of the driving forces and the first president of the Aragon Historical Society, which he got one, he just aged, he's in his 80s and his health got bad, but Al Miller worked as hard as anybody I know for the success of the Aragon Historical Society. He loved things that had history attached to him, and he collected a lot of different things, a lot of stuff from Aragon, but a lot of stuff he just liked to collect historical things. And Al was a great driving force behind moving Aragon Historical Society forward to life. We've been an organization since 2007. All volunteers. We pay a small fee to belong, but we don't get paid anything. We have a lot of people that help us, and we are so appreciative of any help and assistance that we get. And we do get some. We have been getting some help from Cedartown, I forget the name of it.
Doc Ayers Foundation.
And Ray Beck charities. They've been excellent in helping the Aragon Historical Society, and we really appreciate it. We have several members that do an excellent job, especially our secretary. Arnold is our secretary, and he does an excellent job. He keeps us all on our toes. He keeps our computers going. We now have one computer going. It shows people on the camera and things that had occurred in the floods in the 1960s and several things of that nature. And we are real appreciative to Arnold for that.
Well,
Arnold Wheeler, I need to say your whole name.
You could have left that out. Well, appreciate Larry. Appreciate your time for this short session, and I'm sure you've got a lot more stories to tell, which we can record at a later time.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you taking the time out to tell us your story.
Thank you.